Shit. I'm just over here chilling, just minding my business, watching the show. I'm watching the show, minding my damn business. Girl, so what I've been seeing is... Have y'all been seeing? I've been seeing, girl. I've been seeing some of the people on, some of the contestants over there on Jaden's show, over there showing baby daddy some love, and she ain't feeling it. Then I seen some of the showing the other baby mama some love. I'm like, ooh, this getting messy. Somebody ain't gonna be coming back to the reunion. It's getting messy. And you know I don't like mess. I am not the one for no mess. Girl,
the internet is back in full chaos mode again, and this time it's not even the apology that ended the drama. It's what happened after it that lit the match all over again. Because just when people thought things between Karlissa, Nevaeh, and Chrisean were finally cooling down, Karlissa has reacted to the public apology, and instead of peace, she brought shade, and not the subtle kind either. We're talking that I heard you, but I don't believe you energy that instantly sends comment sections into panic mode. One post, one reaction, one tone shift, and suddenly the entire internet is back in detective mode like nothing was ever resolved in the first place. People are confused, fans are divided, and drama pages are having the time of their lives. Because Karlissa didn't just acknowledge the apology. She responded to it like it reopened a wound the internet thought was already stitched up. Now Nevaeh and Chrisean's names are right back in the spotlight, and the conversation is spiraling faster than anyone expected. One side is saying Karlissa is just speaking her truth. The other side is calling it unnecessary fuel on an already burning situation. And the middle? They're just watching everything unfold like it's a live reality show episode with no commercial breaks. But here's where it gets messy. Because the apology that was supposed to bring closure is now being reinterpreted as the trigger for more tension, not less. Screenshots are resurfacing, old clips are getting dragged back into circulation, and every word from Karlissa's reaction is being analyzed like it holds hidden meaning, and just when it feels like the internet has already picked its sides. A new detail starts circulating, something about timing, tone, and what was said before the apology even dropped, and that's when everything flips again. Because now the real question isn't who apologized. It's whether anything was ever really forgiven in the first place. If you think Karlissa's reaction to the apology came out of nowhere, you're already missing the real layers of this situation. Because this isn't a clean apology received, drama over type of moment. No, this is the kind of storyline that has been building in fragments, misunderstandings, online pressure, and emotional history that the internet has been feeding on for weeks. It all starts with the ongoing tension between Nevaeh and Chrisean being pulled into public conversation. What should have stayed a personal situation quickly became internet property the moment clips, opinions, and commentary pages entered the chat. And once that happens, nothing stays private anymore. Every reaction becomes content, every statement becomes a headline, and every apology becomes a public event instead of a private resolution. Karlissa, already a vocal presence in this entire ecosystem, has been consistently tied into the broader conversation whether she directly initiates it or not. That's the reality of viral family and relationship drama online. Once your name becomes part of the narrative, you don't get clean exits. You get continuations, reactions, and interpretations from every direction. Before the apology even dropped, the atmosphere was already tense. Fans were divided, commentary pages were escalating everything, and old clips were constantly resurfacing to remind people of previous conflicts. It wasn't one incident, it was a chain of moments that kept stacking on top of each other until even minor interactions started feeling loaded with meaning. Then the apology finally enters the timeline. And instead of calming everything down, it immediately becomes a trending topic. Because in today's internet culture, apologies are never just apologies. They're analyzed, dissected, and judged for tone, timing, sincerity, and even facial expressions if there's video attached. People don't just hear what is said, they try to decode what is meant. Nevaeh and Chrisean's apology quickly becomes a debate point. Some viewers call it necessary and overdue, saying it was a step toward resolving tension. Others immediately question whether it was fully sincere or just damage control after public pressure started building. And that division alone ensures the situation never actually settles. Karlissa's reaction is what changes everything. Instead of accepting the apology quietly or responding with neutrality, she posts a reaction that instantly shifts the tone. It's not loud aggression, but it's not peace either. It sits somewhere in that uncomfortable middle space where tone matters more than words. And people immediately pick up on that energy. And that's where the internet does what it always does best: it overinterprets everything. Comment sections explode within minutes. Some viewers say she's simply expressing how she feels after everything that happened. Others argue that the timing of her response turns a moment of apology into another wave of tension. And then there are those who are convinced that nothing in this entire situation is happening in isolation anymore, that every reaction is connected to something deeper. Clips start circulating almost instantly. Screenshots of her reaction are reposted with different captions depending on who shares them. One version frames it as honesty, another frames it as shade, another frames it as escalation. Same content, completely different interpretations. And while all of this is happening, fans begin revisiting older moments in the timeline. Past disagreements, old reactions, previous interviews. Anything that can be pulled into the current narrative suddenly becomes relevant again. Because once a new layer of drama is added, the internet reevaluates everything that came before it. The result is chaos that doesn't feel like it started today, it feels like it's been ongoing, just waiting for another trigger. And Karlissa's reaction becomes that trigger, not because it creates the drama from scratch, but because it reopens a conversation everyone thought was already moving toward closure. The second Karlissa's reaction fully spreads across social media, the entire situation detonates again like nothing was ever resolved in the first place. Because the apology that was supposed to bring closure suddenly feels like it opened a new chapter instead of ending an old one. And the internet, it treats that shift like a green light to go absolutely feral. Drama pages waste no time. They repost her reaction with captions like "this just made everything worse" and "shade confirmed" in all caps, like they're narrating a live championship fight. Every platform starts echoing the same debate, just in different fonts and different levels of intensity. TikTok edits slow everything down. Twitter turns it into a thread war. Instagram turns it into quote post therapy sessions, and immediately fans split again. One side is fully backing Karlissa. They're saying she has every right to feel how she feels, especially after everything that's been happening publicly. To them, her reaction isn't shade, it's honesty with edge. They're calling it accountability energy, like she's simply refusing to pretend everything is fine when it clearly isn't. But the other side, they are not convinced. They're saying the apology loses its meaning if every response turns into another wave of tension. To them, Karlissa's tone feels like a reset button getting ignored on purpose. And they're not shy about it either. They're calling it unnecessary escalation, like someone pouring fuel on a fire that was finally starting to settle. And then, the memes take over. People start editing the situation like it's a reality show trailer. Dramatic music, slow zooms, reaction faces frozen mid-expression. One viral post says, "At this point, this is giving Zeus Network reunion episode energy with no commercial breaks." Another one compares it to WWE backstage segments where apologies are just part of the storyline, not the ending. And somehow, the internet eats it all up. But the chaos doesn't stop there. Because now people start digging into timing again. Why respond now? Why this tone after the apology dropped? Was it a delayed reaction or a direct message? Every question multiplies into 10 more questions. And suddenly everyone is acting like they're solving a narrative puzzle instead of reacting to a social media moment. Then the celebrity-adjacent commentary begins. Influencers, Gossip pages and reaction accounts start breaking it down like it's a cultural event. Some are saying Karlissa is just staying true to her perspective. Others are saying the apology should have been a clean reset moment, not a spark for more commentary. And nobody agrees on where the line is anymore. Meanwhile, Nevaeh and Chrisean's names keep getting dragged back into every version of the discussion, even when the focus is technically Karlissa's reaction. Because that's how these internet storylines work now. Once multiple names are connected, separation becomes impossible. Then things escalate further when old clips resurface again. Past arguments, old reactions, earlier interviews, all recirculating like they suddenly matter more in light of the apology and reaction chain. People are connecting dots that may or may not actually be connected. But in viral culture, perception often replaces proof, and just when it feels like the conversation might stabilize into just debate mode, it gets messier because a new wave of commentary starts suggesting that the apology itself might not have landed the way people thought it did in the first place, and that single idea is enough to reopen everything again. Now the internet isn't just talking about Karlissa's reaction. It's questioning whether the apology ever had a chance to work at all. At this point, the situation is no longer just about an apology or Karlissa's reaction. It has turned into something bigger. A full-blown perception war where every new post reshapes the entire narrative again. And instead of cooling down, the conversation keeps evolving into deeper layers of interpretation that nobody can fully control anymore. Some viewers are trying to step away from it completely. They're saying the internet is overcomplicating a situation that should have been resolved after the apology. To them, Karlissa simply reacted based on her feelings, and the internet turned it into something far bigger than it needed to be. They see it as noise, loud, unnecessary, and repetitive. But the other side is not letting it go that easily. They're now treating the apology and reaction as two connected pieces of a much larger emotional timeline. Every phrase gets re-examined. Every tone gets questioned. Every silence gets interpreted. And suddenly, what was supposed to be closure starts feeling like just another chapter in an ongoing storyline that refuses to settle. And that's where the emotional fallout begins to spread. Fans of all sides start expressing fatigue, not because they don't care, but because the situation keeps looping instead of resolving. Every time things feel like they are calming down, a new reaction, clip, or interpretation brings it right back into discussion. It's like the internet refuses to let this narrative reach an ending. Meanwhile, reputations start getting reshaped in real time. Karlissa's reaction is now being viewed in multiple ways depending on who you ask. Some see her as outspoken and transparent, someone who refuses to hide her feelings for the sake of appearances. Others see it as a necessary escalation that reopened tension right after an attempt at peace. Nevaeh and Chrisean's apology also gets re-evaluated under this new lens. What once looked like closure to some now feels complicated to others, depending on how they interpret Karlissa's response. And that shifting perception keeps the entire narrative unstable. Then something interesting happens in the background of all this chaos. Smaller commentary pages begin resurfacing older, forgotten clips again, but this time with new captions suggesting that the current situation was inevitable. That framing alone changes how people interpret everything that came before it. Now it's not just about one apology or one reaction, it's about an entire chain of unresolved tension being replayed in real time. And just when it feels like the internet might finally settle into exhaustion, a new angle appears. Not a statement, not a denial, not a confirmation, just a vague online hint suggesting that there's more context behind the apology timing than people initially realized. And that is enough to shift everything. Again, because now the question isn't about who reacted or who apologized. It's about whether the full story has even been told yet. And that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the chaos alive. Alright, so now we've officially reached that point where the internet is arguing, overanalyzing, rewatching, and rewriting the same situation from like 5 different emotional angles and somehow still not agreeing on a single version of what actually happened. Because Karlissa's reaction didn't end the conversation. It just gave everyone a new reason to restart it. And let's be honest, the timeline is completely split right now. One side is saying, it was just a reaction. Stop overthinking it. The other side is saying, no. The timing and tone definitely matter here. And the rest, they're just watching everything. And fold like it's a never-ending reality show. Episode that refuses to hit credits. But now it's your turn to weigh. In do you think Karlissa was simply being honest after the apology dropped, and the internet is exaggerating everything again? Or do you feel like her reaction actually shifted the energy and reopened tension that was starting to settle? Because right now, every comment section is a battlefield of opinions and nobody is backing down. And that's exactly why Celeb Sync is here to break down the moments where the internet can't decide what's real, what's shade, and what's just misunderstood timing. So go ahead, smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe before the algorithm forgets you ever cared about this drama. And drop your take in the comments, because at this point, your opinion is part of the storyline whether you planned it or not. And don't just scroll past thinking this is over. Because over here at Celeb Sync, we don't follow the ending of the drama. We follow the moment it starts turning into something bigger again.